and welcome to another marvelous video, with Venom: The Last Dance premiering in theaters on October 25th, 2024. Now is the perfect time to dig deep into the dark and chaotic world that Sony's Venom franchise has built around the world of the symbiotes. From the Riot symbiote, from 2018's Venom, to the new variants teased in the latest trailers of the third installment of this fantastic franchise. These alien beings have a long and storied history within the Marvel Comics universe, and an even more intricate relationship with humanity. So, sit back and get ready for the ride as we explore every symbiote featured in the live-action films so far, and some exciting newcomers who will soon enter the fray. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Marriage trouble? Already?
Venom, the lethal protector, or chaotic antihero. Like its powers, the history of the Venom symbiote is as convoluted as it is psychedelic. This creature was once the 998th of its kind, one of the spawns from the elder god Null, before the displeasing creature defied Null and was eventually cast out for not bowing down to him, after bonding with a series of hosts culminating in the life of Kree soldier Telkarthi. The symbiote's fate was changed forever, as it was discovered by Spider-Man in the Secret Wars. He bonded with Spider-Man, but he was rejected soon after. It found its next host in Eddie Brock, a discredited journalist with a grudge against the web-slinger. It then became born as Venom, a being as protective as it is violent. In the movie, Venom's story begins when an astronaut, John Jameson, inadvertently brings the alien symbiote to Earth. It ends up in the hands of the Life Foundation before it manages to find an anchor in Eddie Brock, and together, they become an unruly couple as they care for the city while checking off a little bit of their darker selves. His powers include superhuman strength, agility, and durability, which are much stronger than Spider-Man. He has a shape-changing ability and can even heal his host. In the comics, Venom's signature fangs lend a venomous bite that can incapacitate enemies, making him the great protector and predator all in one. Its duality brings some incredible moments in the films, especially when it proclaims, "We are Venom." It's going to be exciting to see what these two troublemakers have in store for us in The Last Dance. Riot, the deadly leader of the symbiote invasion. Riot, the deadly antagonist symbiote and leader of the invasion from the first Venom film, comes from the evil Life Foundation in the comic books, in which utopian futures are being pursued, while there is still communist-charged confusion surrounding international politics. The Foundation, led by Carlton Drake, wants to create a police force composed of superpowered people through the young of Venom. He did so by capturing Venom and forcefully taking out 5 symbiote seeds from him. The blue symbiote, who would later come to be known as Riot, merged with Trevor Cole, a Life Foundation security officer, to make them into one violent creature. In the film, Riot's journey begins as one of several symbiotes on the planet Claritar, but is taken aboard by the astronauts in the Life Foundation spaceship. After breaking free during their transport and bonding with several hosts, Riot kills almost anyone who gets in his way. Ultimately, he merges with Carlton Drake, and later uses Carlton as his tool to conquer Earth. Throughout the film, Riot unfolds massive energy. He claims loyalty from Venom and fights him tooth and nail when the latter does not budge. In the climax, Riot meets his death when Venom sabotages the rocket that was to facilitate the invasion, and thus causes a devastating explosion that incinerates him and Drake, sealing their fates forever. Riot possesses several impressive abilities, like superhuman strength, durability, stamina, as well as speed, all amplified by the symbiote biology. He can mold his biomass in an organically grown fashion to craft massive weapons, such as a hammer or mace, intended for his aggressive host mindset. On top of that, Riot boasts organic webbing, wall crawling, and a manner of camouflage. Moreover, Riot is immune to Spider-Man's spider sense, making him quite a threat. Like all symbiotes though, Riot has his weaknesses. Sonic and heat-based attacks can badly maul him, leaving him vulnerable. Carnage, the unhinged symbiote spawn of Venom. In Venom: Let There Be Carnage, released in 2021, this iconic symbiote was born from the unspeakably horrific marriage of the serial killer, Cletus Cassidy, and an offspring of the Venom symbiote. The film introduces Cletus on death row. In one interview with Eddie Brock, the host of Venom, he provokes Eddie, taunting him over his private life and even his deceased mother. In a fit of anger, a brawl ensues, and Cletus bites Eddie's hand to let the offspring of the Venom symbiote enter his bloodstream, creating Carnage, the frightening black and red embodiment of chaos and violence. In the comics, his superhuman strength is so formidable that he easily overpowers Venom and even Spider-Man. His powers equip him with the ability to regenerate himself at a tremendous speed, almost to the point of instant recovery from fatal injuries, while he forms deadly weapons and appendages, using them by morphing into whatever shape would be helpful in battle. The Carnage symbiote enhances Cletus's violent nature and makes him even more dangerous. In Venom, let there be carnage. However, their destructive partnership does lead them to a catastrophic climax in Grace Cathedral, when their insanity is matched with that of Venom's in a devastating battle. Ultimately, Carnage is consumed by Venom in the last fight between the two, which results in the death of both him and his host, Cletus. However, the damage they left behind was quite significant, forever changing the dynamics of the symbiote world. Scream, a dangerous yet underrated symbiote. In the comic books, Scream has a complicated origin story connected to the Life Foundation. Her story parallels that of Riot, since both were involved in the Foundation's experiment to create a superhuman task force comprised of Venom's progeny. Scream was fused with mercenary Donna Diego, who had schizophrenia, and became one of the guardian symbiotes of the Foundation. In the Venom cinematic universe, apparently, Scream is shown as a shapeless yellow and red form, as seen briefly in the Venom: The Last Dance trailer, where she is contained behind a stasis field. Apart from this information, her role in the movie is still ambiguous. As Donna Diego, Scream battled notable characters like Venom, Spider-Man, and the Scarlet Spider, before ultimately meeting her demise in Venom issue 15. The Scream symbiote gives many good gifts to her host. She receives superhuman strength, which makes her withstand any amount of damage. She can overwhelm her opponents through organic webbing. She can extend hair-like tendrils called psychokinesis that help in lashing or ensnaring opponents. And she even enjoys camouflage abilities to penetrate the surroundings stealthily. As the fans look forward to the future of the Venom cinematic universe, many are sitting on the edge of their seats waiting to see how Scream will continue, and if she is able to tap into all her powers in The Last Dance. Toxin, the future symbiote wildcard? It would be pretty exciting if Toxin were to enter the Venom cinematic universe. Especially considering the hints dropped at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Born from Carnage as the 1000th in its lineage, it makes Toxin one of the most powerful and feared symbiotes, even more so than both Venom and Carnage. In the comics, he bonds with a police officer, Pat Mulligan, and develops into a more heroic nature than his evil symbiotic mates. In Let There Be Carnage, Stephen Graham plays a major role as Detective Patrick Mulligan. He follows up on the case of Cletus Cassidy and witnesses the final battle between Venom and Carnage. By the movie's conclusion, Mulligan is very much alive, as it would appear otherwise, tragically getting murdered at the hands of Shriek. The flashing of his eyes suggests that the Toxin symbiote may be surfacing soon. The trailers for Venom: The Last Dance indicate that Mulligan is destined to be tied with the Toxin symbiote, foreshadowing a big character arc that would unfurl within the plot. In the comics, Toxin has superhuman strength, speed, and durability, which is arguably superior to Venom and Carnage. Toxin also possesses some unique abilities, including bypassing Spider-Man's spider sense, while possessing a spider sense of his own. Also, let's not forget about his super fast regenerative ability, which could set up exciting dynamics if he is introduced as an ally or enemy to Venom. He is also a fantastic tracker. Given Mulligan's amiable personality, chances are he'd be the perfect ally for Eddie Brock to rely on. But controlling the dark impulses of Toxin would also present a battle against it, asking Mulligan an ultimate wildcard, whose dual persona might prove the turning point in many subsequent storylines. Given that Toxin sometimes appears as an ally to Spider-Man in the comics, the fans cannot wait to see how this intriguingly complex character will be fleshed out in the cinematic space. Venoms Offspring, a connection to the MCU? One of the most interesting and confusing elements of the Venom: The Last Dance trailer is the mini smudge of symbiote goo left behind by Venom when he briefly crossed over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe on Spider-Man: No Way Home. It prompts all the same questions about what such a thing was left for, and how it managed to appear back again in Venom's home dimension to this film's adventures, sending fans wild with speculation for its importance in this film. This small blob could be interpreted as Venom's offspring. That's right, the coloration of this symbiote tells us it is Mania, a comic book character that is indeed called Venom's son. This development also throws the entire Venom genealogy into chaos. That makes this blob the most mysterious character to appear in the trailer. Fans eagerly await Venom: The Last Dance to solve all the mysteries surrounding this fascinating spawn and bring some clarity about both its role in the Venom cinematic universe and the broad Marvel mythos. The Unknown Blue Symbiote: Mystery of the Life Foundation. One of the most interesting aspects of the Last Dance trailer is the mysterious light blue symbiote, which looks strikingly different from other symbiotes linked with the Life of Foundation. It appears alongside Clark Backo's character in one scene, but still, very little is known about it because the light blue symbiote was not a part of the original Life Foundation task force from the comics. This blue symbiote could be the same symbiote seen in the movie Venom. In Venom, there was an incident where a blue symbiote was held by the Life Foundation and briefly bonded with two homeless men, Jacob and Isaac. It ended up killing them as it consumed them from within. With these associations, it isn't too challenging to visualize how this blue symbiote can be a rehash of either the Mayhem symbiote or the Wild symbiote from Venom issue 18. With next to nothing to support its true identity, though, this leaves the fans to wonder what this might mean for the narrative and how it might connect with the larger story of the Life Foundation as it does with its symbiotic experiments. I guess we'll have to wait and see for ourselves. Lasher, the lurking symbiote. Lasher's origins in the comics reflect the evil machinations of the Life Foundation, which sought to create a superhuman police force by using the offspring of Venom. Of the 5 seeds extracted from Venom, the Lasher symbiote was bonded with security guard Ramon Hernandez. Venom: The Last Dance lightly adapts a popular comic arc, Lethal Protector, in which Eddie Brock and Venom deal with Life Foundation experiments. One of the scenes in the trailer features a confined version of the green and red colored Lasher. However, his function within the movie, just like his siblings, is not clear. Like his siblings, Lasher manufactures appendages, including tendrils and additional legs, to enhance movement and attack. The symbiote also possesses another more specialized ability called remote symbiosis, which enables it to merge physiologically with an inanimate beast, like a dog or a small biped, to extend its influence beyond the primary host. This facility endows Lasher's host with the ability to give orders to these creatures through a mimetic mouthpiece fashioned from one of its limbs and grants them the possibility to attack or maneuver at the behest of the host. The Venom: The Last Dance trailer hints that a few of these symbiotes are stored with a newly formed military group, along with Lasher. None of them seem to have partnered up with hosts, but there is a good chance they will be used as the enemies of Eddie Brock and Venom. Pure Blood Claritar, a threat from the start. Since Sony Pictures introduced Venom to the big screens, the looming menace of an extraterrestrial symbiote has been at the back of everyone's mind. The trailer for the Venom: The Last Dance gives a glimpse at what this cosmic threat looks like, showing a Pure Blood Claritar, a fancy word for symbiote, for the first time. Claritar was the terminology used by writer Donny Cates, which means cage in their language. These creatures are inorganic and amorphous in form, with multiple cellular masses that spawn from Null's living abyss, producing them as the offspring of his trial and error with his power. Their existence as living extra-dimensional tesseracts requires living hosts to anchor them to one place within space and time. They have to feed on specific organs, primarily brains and spleens, for their reliance on the chemical phenethylamine, which is found abundantly in chocolate and in human brain tissue. This puts a gruesome ultimatum upon the hosts to stock as much chocolate as possible, or worse, turn into a cannibal. Claritars can reproduce asexually, simply by ingesting sufficient nutrients, and create new symbiotes, though they soon forget them as they have no consciousness about it after making them. Usually, they give birth only once in a lifetime, though exceptions may happen. An example of such a rare case is Venom, who has produced more than one offspring. As the story continues, the potential outcomes of introducing the pure blood Claritars to Venom's world raise the anticipation of what could come forth from this powerful alien lineage. Fage, the Unseen Killer. Fage's existence has been quietly integrated into the Venom cinematic universe, implying that the symbiote was lurking in the shadows long before the upcoming installment. In the first Venom film, alongside Venom and Riot, the Life Foundation collected several symbiotes, including a yellow one, using homeless people and bunnies as unwilling test subjects. While never explicitly mentioned in the film, many fans believe the yellow symbiote is Fage from the comics, who died owing to an inability to find a suitable host. In the Venom: The Last Dance trailer, Fage's elusive orange form appears briefly on the far right side of a scene depicting the captured symbiotes at the Life Foundation. Does that mean it is somehow back to life? In the comics, the Life Foundation experimented with Fage and 4 of his siblings with the aim of merging them into a superhuman task force. When Fage was originally presented in the comic books, he was attached to Agent Karl Mach, who served as Strike Agent 1 for the Life Foundation symbiote team. Mach expertly used Fage's unique ability to create bladed weapons from the symbiote's body, employing them for both defense and offense. Fage's character had emotional depth, especially when he sought vengeance for the murder of his ally, Leslie Jesneria. albeit his quest eventually resulted in his own death at the hands of Scream. Viewers may expect a more thorough examination of Fage's persona as Venom: The Last Dance comes to the theaters, highlighting his unique abilities, such as manipulating constituent matter to produce bladed weapons. Fage is a fascinating addition to the already varied cast of symbiotes, and his involvement could play a big part in determining the plot of the movie, which enters on the Life Foundation and its symbiotic research. Agony, the purple-hued predator. The history of Agony can't be separated from the nefarious machinations of the Life Foundation. She was the youngest of the 5 symbiotes spawned involuntarily from Venom. She was meant to become an enforcer for the organization and its clients. Much too immature to bond with a host, Agony bonded with Leslie Jesneria, a security officer in the ranks of the Life Foundation. In the Venom: The Last Dance trailer, Agony's striking purple and pink form is prominently featured alongside Scream, both held in stasis. This connection reinforces Agony's role as part of the Life Foundation task force, mirroring her comic origins, where she served under the guidance of Agent Jesneria. Like her symbiote counterpart, Lasher, Leslie craved change and wanted to use her new powers to be a hero. Sadly, her dream was cut short when she was accidentally killed by Scream in one of her episodes of schizophrenia. The Life Foundation symbiotes targeted Venom in retribution for their slain colleague when Scream blamed him for the incident, which set off a chain of hostility. Beyond the general symbiote abilities, Agony has unique ones that set her apart. She can produce acid through her metabolism, thus empowering her to split corrosive projectiles that can eat through almost every kind of material. Agony is also uniquely capable of metabolic chemical absorption that allows the chemical to be used and dispersed in creative ways, like regurgitating Spider-Man's artificial webbing. As the story unfolds through Venom: The Last Dance, it's very likely that Agony's character will prove very important in the narrative, adding depth to the situation and ongoing conflict and relationship dynamics among symbiotes. Her tragic background may serve to establish some depth to the movie, putting additional pressure and tension on what happens within. Marvelous verdict. That brings us to the end of this video. While Venom thus far has only let us sip a little from the cup of some fascinating symbiotes, an entire galaxy of them is waiting to appear on the silver screen for the first time. Venom: The Last Dance promises to go further into this fascinating universe, covering everything from the intricate relationships between the symbiotes and their hosts to the impending threats from both inside and outside their ranks. Which symbiote are you most excited to see on the big screen? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button and share it with all your friends. We will see you in the next one.